Minasan, konnichiwa, James Shimasu, and without turning this video into a lesson on Japanese grammar, instead sticking to the most general overview and outline possible, because as I explained in the first video in this series, as a level 2 or level 3 beginner, I'm not even going to attempt to teach anything about the Japanese language itself. One thing which we must all avoid when learning Japanese is falling into the trap of thinking of particles as words with set definitions, learning one meaning of a particle only to realise that it has a completely different meaning depending upon how it's used in a sentence. What are particles, you ask? Well, in simplest terms, leaving aside the ones that come at the end of Japanese sentences, they're connectors which join Japanese sentences together, like the words a, the, to, from, and what have you in English. However, unlike those English conjugations, as far as I can tell as a beginner myself, no particles in Japanese that are used to connect words together ever have a single fixed meaning. For example, the particle ni has at least a dozen different meanings depending upon how it's used in a sentence. So this being the case then, my fifth tip for absolute page 1 level 0 beginners is to try and think of particles in Japanese as being the same kind of thing as the more advanced mathematical symbols shown in this image here, because like Japanese particles, such symbols don't really mean anything out of context, but they show us how to connect things together to make the finished equation, just as particles in Japanese connect the words together in order to give us the finished sentence. Of course, that is only a very crude analogy, and please don't walk away from this video thinking that Japanese particles are exactly the same as mathematical symbols, because Japanese particles are strange and unique beasts which, once again, as far as I'm aware as a beginner myself, have no equivalent anywhere in the world, least of all in mathematics. But while obsessing over the proper use and multiple different meanings of Japanese particles would be equally counterproductive, if you're literally only just starting out learning Japanese, then thinking of Japanese sentences as being a little like mathematical equations or something similar, with the words being connected together to form the final meaning, can help you to avoid falling into the trap I mentioned earlier until you're really able to get a handle on how Japanese particles work.